Hey, Gopal. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Reed. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, great to have you back on. I think for let's see, if I include the one with Marco Russo for a fourth time. But yeah, I know we covered some topics similar to this earlier in the year, and I think with a lot of recent changes, both with some of the SDK in the visualizations and just some stuff that I've seen coming
Mm.
out from your end, there's been some really cool changes. I think in terms of some of the capabilities of advanced visualizations that I'm interested to hear more about today.
Yeah, absolutely. And so much has changed, especially on the charts. We, I think we probably did it in summer, the first version of the charts, and
Yep.
we had the opportunity to test the waters, listen to hundreds of customer feedbacks, and we had to go back to the drawing room and really make it into more of a very unique offering and that's what I wanted to share today with the audience.
Yeah, and I think it's like myself, being for the people in the audience, as someone I've been working with Gopal now for almost 2.5 years, and been one of the MVPs who's been privileged to be able to help watch both Inforiver grow and also the charts visual. And I think there was a good opportunity to kind of show uh, some of the features that can come out as far as the trellising and comparisons and analytics, certainly that go above and beyond whatever's available in the native one. So I'm very excited to kind of see some of these upcoming changes that you'll be walking through today, and also the conversations of why some of these are needed, especially with customers that today with native visuals aren't really wanting to switch to Power BI just because it's missing X, Y, and Z. I'll preface it with also just saying that there's at least some good changes coming forward, is certainly with all those public announcements that Miguel Myers has been making. I'm involved with him in helping get a lot of these native visuals much better than what they are, but there's still a gap even between that and I think what some of these advanced enterprise visualizations can do, certainly.
No, absolutely. The definitely the market is continuous to the customers are always one step ahead of the actual software vendors.
Of course, yeah.
And Power BI as a software has really matured. So the customers' asks are also to the next generation, actually. And even though we are doing this for close to 12 years now, and we have seen how the customer asks have actually evolved from visualization to more of storytelling and more of how do I tell data stories and how do I actually do comparisons. And so that's basically one place where we are really specializing in how do we make it much easier for a casual user. You give them a good data set, how can they actually do it? The most important thing is the TikTok has been a revolution in terms of, YouTube has already there. We are streaming this live in YouTube, but they did the video and all. But TikTok, if you really look at it, they started doing these miniature short videos. Now everybody's doing the reels, the shorts and everything, because as human beings with all the social media and the smartphones, our time span has really come down to 30 seconds or less, or maybe a minute or less. So the ask from customers is, hey, my true charting should be like TikTok for analytics. I should be able to spend less than a minute. I want to be able to do some powerful stories, not visualization, to be able to put a chart. Okay, I explain why the variance is, or why I explain the thing.
Well,
That is the level of
Christian Wade,
speed.
right? As well at Microsoft. Christian Wade with the 5 minutes to wow, I think, is that they always try to market at Microsoft for Power BI for sure.
I think that was James Phillips who said,
Or maybe, yeah,
five
James
minutes,
Phillips.
yes, yeah, 5 minutes to sign up and 5 minutes to wow. I literally took it to heart. And I pushed our team to say 1 minute to start and 1 minute to see the value. So if you look at the matrix, if you look at the charts, within 1 minute, the no code, one click, and that's what we are pushing ourselves to the next generation of where it is no code and you click. Basically, you don't do any scripting, you click and you get the outcome you are looking for.
Exactly.
And the time span, really that boils down to time to value, really shrink it as close to as little as possible for the next generation of the users.
Yep. Yeah, and it's attention spans have dropped, but also I think just low code, no code, and especially with things like ChatGPT and everything else, we need to continue to push ourselves towards being able to just focus on the actually creating the business questions and the answers to those, and not necessarily having to spend as much time in the technical weeds and the coding and everything else, and just hopefully using a UI that once we can articulate what we need a request from the software, it's very easy to click a few times, create the items, maybe have it suggest a few options, and then ideally get to something that doesn't take 20 hours to build. It takes a few minutes or less.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really wanted to actually talk quite a bit is I touched on that Power BI as a tool has really matured. Customers are still suffering today. If you really look at the market, I think it may be a good segue to actually show why do customers actually need a custom visual. You can actually, hopefully you can see the slide that I'm actually talking about. Yes, you can do a lot with Power BI, but there is always, if you are an expert in DAX, you can get consultants. You can actually, there is always some gaps, or you just need an advanced capability to do it. But there is always going to be a capability gap. Or Power BI doesn't do what an Excel chart can do, or it can't do what Tableau can do, what Qlik can do, or Spotfire can do. I can't do this. So there is always capability gap, and there is customer has an unmet needs. And today it's very acute that the customer is complaining that even though we have standardized as much as in Power BI, most of our usage is still with our SAP business objects with Tableau, because we can't retire. We can't retire and those tools, because I can't do a one-to-one migration, because the change management is hard for a lot of large enterprises. And a lot of customers actually work with us, and they basically have been giving us a lot of feedback about what kind of gaps we have in Power BI, and that's what we have done quite a bit with our Inforiver Charts that I actually wanted to show the audience, and basically give them a perspective of how much it has changed. Because in the last 1 year, we had an opportunity to go to market and talk to a lot of the customers. As a company, we have a deep experience in this space. When I say 12 years, a lot of our team members have worked with us for a long time. We have a very large team. We are getting close to 200 employees now. We are constantly hiring. The depth and breadth and the carry forward knowledge of the customer base, our own products, we have carried forward those knowledges. So we have been able to do quite a bit with our charts. And what I want to actually walk through with the audience today is I want to basically show them, in a single visual. One of the challenge with our Express visuals was we had a lot of individual visuals. They were more developer friendly, because that is something I wanted to touch on. When we released the Express visual 5 years back, they were more developer friendly. They had a lot of properties, but the market has really moved on. The market expects, like, I want a no-code solution. I want more of comparisons. So if you really see these chart types, Express visuals don't give you the ability to do multi-measure comparisons, the ability to tell a story, and ability to do clustered and combination charts, the dual axis charts. So the customer expectation of what type of chart types they are asking for has evolved. So we have continuously invested. If you look at it, we provide the richest of the waterfall charts. I will touch on that. That is something we provide basically all possible. And the customer usually says, oh, I can do this in Excel. The breakdown waterfall and stacked waterfall and some of the stuff that, so you are competing with Excel and ThinkCell. There are products like Data Wrapper and ThinkCell. So we studied the market, and we did. The other big thing is the Inforiver Matrix has been a huge hit because of the toolbar like UX, which they are used to it. The on-canvas interaction. So we invested the last 1 year heavily in making the charts how do you use it in a small screen? How do you, the whole concept of, the floating toolbar, that's something that I wanted to emphasize on, so that you give them a good data set. How can they actually contextually get the properties that are relevant? Like you click on an x-axis, you can change the x-axis properties. So all of these is extremely made it intuitive for small canvas, full canvas. How do you change the chart type? So we made it as easy to discover, and we are continuously working with the customers to basically make it do like. So like I said, the floating toolbar for a small canvas, the chart mode, the KPI card mode. Customers want KPI cards right in the dashboard, both charts and KPI cards. So we had to really invest quite a bit on the user experience. Oh, this is very, very important. When we initially did about a year back, our entire library, charting library, was IBCS theme based. And IBCS is International Business Certified. We were a big believer in promoting standardization in visualization, best practices. But guess what? IBCS is popular only in Europe. And even the companies that love IBCS, even the companies in Germany, they love IBCS. They said, we have a challenge in rolling out we are a global organization. We do business in hundreds of countries. We can't roll the IBCS theme because US doesn't understand it. Asia Pacific doesn't understand IBCS. So we actually do 2 versions of the dashboard, and it's pretty hard. So we actually invested quite a bit in the theme. So you can do IBCS theme, we can do Inforiver theme, which is basically some slight, because IBCS by definition is very, very strict in standards. We created a variation of the IBCS theme with a little bit of customization capability. Then we gave the Power BI theme because customers said, oh, I have other Power BI charts, and when I put your chart, it looks in a different theme. So, and then a lot of customers come from non-Power BI like Tableau and Qlik and Spotfire. Hey, we really need a different theme. We don't like the Power BI theme. So, and then companies say, I have a corporate color customization. So we actually, the accessibility theme. So we invested quite a bit in the themes, so customers can actually, and everything is one click. And when I actually do the demo, I will actually show you that this is some big change we did. Then the same concept is we made it easy with our charts to compare measures. Basically, that was one of the big selling point, is the variance charts were very easy in one click they were getting. It is an IBCS principles that customers do actuals, prior year, budgets, plans, forecast. Now, a lot of times you don't have the measures that way, and a lot of times you want to compare your, say, gross sales to net sales. It's not like a time-based comparison. So we really went back to the drawing board. We re-architected it, where at a runtime you can actually break in at the visual level. You can actually do various different comparisons actually, and this is one of the big lessons learned, and we are taking this. So we did this in charts. Now we are going to take this back to the matrix in the next release, because the concept of field parameters, which recently came, a lot of customers are using field parameters to do a lot of the dynamically select measures and dynamically select categories. So this is more compatible with the field parameters and some of the Power BI enhancements that are coming. So I will be able to touch on that and show you. So how you can actually break the measure at a visual level. So you haven't created a quick DAX quick measure, but we allow you to actually break it in. Let's say you have version and plan in your data model. We allow you to break that into individual measures, so you can do comparisons very quickly. So you may not know DAX, but we are giving this feature to split the category into measures to do this. And this is pretty intuitive for a lot of business users to do it themselves. You have heard of funnel charts, and I had
there's a version built into, to a degree, into Power BI as well, like one of the little pipeline funnel chart measure visual that they have.
Correct, but in fact, this requirement came from actually one of the department in Microsoft itself. They said, we are a big believer in horizontal funnel charts, because we look at our, so they said we don't get a good horizontal funnel chart where we see the drop and we see the way they visualize this is how we visualize. We have the metrics on the side, and they call it an executive funnel. This is how executives visualize. And I had other customers also confirm that there isn't any visualization. We have seen a traditional funnel, but with so many businesses as SaaS businesses, right? It's about ARR, MRR, my conversion rates and all that. So we had to really go to the ground up, because we actually built the JavaScript library from the ground up. We were able to actually build this chart type. It's almost a new chart type. We are calling it a horizontal funnel chart, where it's much easier to actually attach the KPI to the various phases, basically, because it's not a simple bar that is flat, but you can actually do, and you are drop in as you go through the various stages. This is a new chart type that is you can actually try. Slope graph is something that you don't have it out of the box in Power BI, and this is some customers that actually said, it's basically a two-way comparison, easily to see the change in value over time. This is something we added as a new chart type to the chart. It's a single visual. That's something that you all have to remember. It's not like, oh, I have to get 40 different visuals. We have all these chart types. It's all, when I show the user experience, I will show it's as long as you have the right data set, you can actually do a lot of them in a couple of clicks.
Yeah, I see those a lot on flow charts and other stuff. Is usually the comparison bands of two values, just so you can see like between periods or two scenarios, how did it change over time?
Absolutely. Waterfall chart is heavily used by organizations in finance, and pretty much everybody complained that the Power BI waterfall charts are very basic. We have to go to Excel and PowerPoint, do it in Excel, take the image and put it in PowerPoint. It's painful, or buy a product like ThinkCell. So we really had to go back to, we offered, in the first version, we offered about 3 different waterfall chart types. We now offer 6 different waterfall chart types, and you can do both horizontal and vertical, which means it's like 12 waterfall chart types. Every single possible waterfall chart type, breakdown, paired breakdown, the ability to split, it's now available. So this alone, if you really ask me, this particular use case alone, I want a very complex financial variance waterfall. This alone basically justifies customer why they have to use the Inforiver charts. You don't have to, while it does hundreds of different use cases, all it takes is one use case. You have a business need and you can actually find a use for it. The other things is customers always want more on the tooltip. So we basically provision and kind of an others well, where you can drop an unrelated measure or a related measure. You can use it for also calculation or also on the tooltip we actually gave. And then this is something a lot of customers asked. But the beauty of this is whatever you drop it into the tooltip others well, it may not be shown on the visual, but you can use it for conditional formatting. You can use it for your analytics. You can use it for your visual measures. So we brought in a little capability from the matrix where you are able to do, let's say you bring a headcount measure and you want to do revenue per employee. You can actually do at a visual level, you can compute and you can actually present it. I will touch on that as well. The storytelling, the core of it is, how do you actually tell the story? You can do the 100%. Deviation at runtime. You can do the deviations, multiple deviations at the runtime. So this is alone, again, like I said, it's not just about waterfall chart. I want to be able to have a time dimension. I want to show the variance, why this is happening. You draw the variance, show the variance percentage, and explain, storytell.
And it doesn't have to be fixed either. I know from testing is there's a way to attach it to the cursor. So as you select an anchor, and when anything else you hover over, it automatically shows you the ratio between the two of them.
Absolutely, and I hopefully I will be able to actually show you live. This is not just. I just want to make sure there is so much of we learned in the last 1 year. We went back, we have done it. So that's why I wanted to walk through a lot of the new things that we have actually implemented. So I'm not talking about what is there already, but I'm just talking about the delta that has happened in the last 1 year. Going back to the drawing room and doing it. I touched on how you can actually drop into others and how you can actually build a KPI formula right in the visual, and then use it in annotations or use it in this. It's something that We had it in the matrix, you can actually do, but this is a very miniature version of it. We didn't want to bring the whole formula engine because it bulks up the visual. So we just brought a miniature version of, okay, you are able to do some quick and something, so you can actually do it. So that capability we added, especially on storytelling. We had a number of customers come to us with the ability to do like a comparison band. It's a basically a color scale on a bar chart, which is, think about it like a tornado chart or the diverging, and able to say, hey, this is good. Or so this is more from a production reporting, like manufacturing and production. They see where we are basically in the metrics. We worked with a customer in Germany. They gave us a requirement. We had our team. So this is how a lot of customers come to us and say, hey, this is not in native Power BI. This is not available, but we have a business use case to visualize this way. So we invested in actually bringing this capability, and we do that. So that's one of the things is, customers also collaborating with us to bring requirements that make sense. Whatever we can fit it in the current charting engine architecture, we have been able to accommodate and do that.
And I think it's important to mention between like what you just showed and even this one over here is a lot of these scenarios that you're showing allow you to do something as simple as being able to just have the bars, but with those the comparison lines and the ratios that can show immediately between the columns on a very basic column chart, or for the customers that need it for production analysis or anything else, you have the capability of going to those more advanced ones as you showed on the previous screen. But that's if and when the customers need it. So they can be simple, or they can go advanced. But usually the individuals already know like this is the type of data that they need to show that it requires more complexity with bands and everything else than a standard bar or column chart would show. Just because when the analysis needs to be complex to a degree or more advanced, the visual needs to be able to support that. So you can kind of pick and choose between those. You can start simple, but also do display more intuitively, more advanced analysis that otherwise might require 2 or 3 visuals and kind of having to do mental math to compare the numbers together.
Exactly, that is the concept, right? For example, if you really need this, all you have to do is go into conditional formatting. We added a comparison band where you set up configure the property in few clicks. It's very simple, but we don't throw this complexity. Only those users who need to do this, they have to come and they have to actually do it.
Yep.
Now, this one is, we really worked hard to get it in a single click because we were very strong to do the small multiples. Every single visual in our charting engine, about 40 plus chart, is a small multiple. So in single click, you can turn them into a small multiple. That was inherent to our architecture. But some customers want to stack them. So you take what is in the group and in one click, and then we challenged our team to do it in one click. So we now have the ability to stack them. I'm actually going to show you the next iteration of it. You turn this into one click and you can do, and then you see that automatically color coding the legends and then the sorting, all of that does in a single click.
And there's a ribbon, so to speak, that's also created between them as well, the connection points, so you can track it a little bit easier. So it like, to me, like, and maybe there's an official term for that, but it's halfway between like the ribbon chart in Power BI, which automatically changes the order, but and a regular stack chart, which you kind of have just have the columns isolated by themselves. So this does help you at least horizontally track and kind of move between sections as their values change, and it shows you how the band shrinks. So like between Pacific and APAC, you can actually see that even though the 2 sections of the columns are somewhat similar in terms of actual height size, I find it easier to actually notice that the band kind of gets wider. So there are certain visual cues that allude to both changes in position, but also whether or not the values adjust without having to necessarily look at the labels first, because people first notice shapes. The secondary information on a visual is going to be data labeling, titling, and everything else.
Absolutely. So that's where the attention to detail, the best practices, putting the total automatically here. So it's everything conforms to the best practices. And this is, I got to tell you, a lot of Tableau customers said, this is one of the reasons we can't migrate from Tableau to Power BI is the ability to break the measures into rows, basically into columns. And it's called splitting the measures. Let's say I have sales, profit, and quantity. I want them. I know we can do a dual axis chart or a multiple axis chart, but the best practice is, because they are they are called non-comparative measures. You don't compare sales to profit or quantity. And then I want different chart types for each of them. So this is the right way to do it. And if I told you, you can actually do it in one click, you would not believe it. In Tableau, you can do it, but it is quite a bit of effort to do this in Tableau. So we really pushed our team to do it in no code, basically. Okay, we understood the business requirement that, okay, it makes sense. This is a non-comparative measure. How do you split them? And then you do it in a single click. And it took a while, but I'm very, very happy that we are able to. This is live. You can actually go to the app stores, take Inforiver Charts, and you can actually try splitting, and then it would do it by measure. And you can change the chart type. Yeah, I will show you how you do that. I think this is something that is inherently available from our version 1, that you can actually do annotations and storytelling with our charts, conditionally formatted headers and footers. The headers, you can conditionally format, add annotations, add reference line and reference band. So this makes our product a true storytelling product within Power BI. This is something, I don't know if I covered it at the last time, is the integrated KPI cards, where a lot of times customers, so let's say this is a small multiple, I have my region, but I want the summary in the header. So this is think of this as a subtotal summary. So they wanted the KPI header. So one of the drawbacks of the current small multiple architecture in all the visualization is you really, that's why they run to Excel, is I really want to see my subtotal and the grand total. In fact, we have the KPI header I will show on another example where you can actually do it on so imagine this is the title is your grand total, this is your subtotal, this is your individual breakdown. You get the full picture of the variance by region, by product, by time dimension in just a single click. You can actually add an annotation and a story. So we have that. So you see there is a card mode built into the visual. So there is a charts mode, which is basically you have a visualization, but in the card mode, the focus is more on the numbers, the variances, and then you add sparkline charts. You add the sparkline charts where the chart doesn't take up as much as area. So we are focusing on giving sparkline chart feel of it. You can change the position. We are giving the one-click templates. So the beauty of how our card is architected is you get in one click, you get defaults, presets, and everything, but you can also completely customize it. So it's a casual user's dream as well as a developer dream, because we provide all the customization capability as well. Now, this is one of the example, and if I told you, I just simply assigned and I just changed the background and thing, and I got a 50-state sparkline KPI card. And this is dual measures, sales and profit. And
I like the I like the gradient too, which is and as you know, with the recent release of like enhanced SVG container shapes for tables, there's been a resurgence of new templates that are coming out for the native visuals, and I enjoy. And I wish the native like line chart and other stuff had the ability to apply either an area gradient or a line gradient where the line color itself could change. So it's nice to see those effects in here, because I've seen a lot of other tools use them, but unfortunately just not supported natively in the Power BI conditional formatting.
Yeah, no, it will come. Eventually it will come. And I think the exploratory analysis is something we released in the release 1, but we have made significant enhancements. When I do the demo, I will be able to show you. It's a wonderful experience now with the exploratory analysis, where you click on an individual bar and you can actually keep drilling down. And then we have the breadcrumb where you can actually go to any level intuitively.
So a quick question before you move on to this one, and I'll pop it up from a Ghostface. Do the cards offer rounded edge titles? So like what level of customization and configuration is available for the cards?
I think it is available. We both will explore it together because you probably know a lot more than I do on my team. And yes, it is designed. And if it is not there, if somebody gives us a feedback, we will enhance it. We have a large team working on the charts now. And, if there is any gap, we are happy to accommodate and get it done quickly.
Yeah.
The other thing is I talked about the splitting the measure. So this is how in the toolbar, you click split, and then it would put the sales and the cost of goods in the 2 rows, and then you can get it in the different colors. And this is something we had, but people don't realize it, that you have the ability to do a reference line, reference band, trend lines, Pareto charts, all in a single click. This is the analytics of our charts. The conditional formatting I want to touch on is this is something that a lot of customers actually complain. I can do this, the line gradient in Spotfire. I can't migrate my dashboard to Power BI. Can you do this? So we continuously get feedback like this, the color scale based on the tooltip measure. So basically the conditional format is done based on another measure. So these are things that we continuously listen. Okay, I can do this in another product. How do I do this in Power BI? So we got quite a bit done, and these are some of the examples that we actually do. I touched on the deviation and then the ability to do it. It's so that there is a toolbar. You click on it, and it's somewhat, there is obviously a product that is almost like a big platform. There is a discoverability challenge, and we are trying to continuously learn from the user experience. We are improving. So deviation is there as a button, and you just have to play with it and do. And because we changed so much in the charts in the last 1 year, we haven't really invested in the documentation because we are continuously learning from the customer, and we are doing it. And in fact, we haven't done the same level of videos we have done for the matrix, but we are going to start in March. I think the chart product is ready and mature. So we will, in the month of March, we are going to start working on the documentation and the videos. It's ready for prime time adoption. So same thing on the top end. We can do the nested top end, both on the axis and on the trellis. So it's pretty slick, our top end. And we have continuously learned from the customer feedback, and we have improved it a lot further. So this is the integrated ranking is one of the
well, and a big one between both this and even in just the regular Inforiver matrix as well is it's the nested top end. So you can apply top 5 category, which will give you the top level, and then the bars below that could be top 3 plus other for subcategories. You're, I think, showing, there's the other subcategories, the orange bar that you see in front of you there. So, I mean, 2 things that's hitting on. One, as many of us have encountered, if you can only apply one top end per visual. If you try to apply another, it won't let you apply it. So you have to write a measure to do the top end, to do all that, and other bars don't even show up. You have to create a custom table, a bunch of fancy measures, and it's hours of work in Power BI. So there's 2, I think, really nice things that there's just a toggle switch to turn on the other bar that automatically shows up, and being able to do nested top ends are both really nice. I wish they were something easily done natively, and they should be, but they're not today. So that's a huge gap that fills. There was a great follow-up, I think, on top end, and I think performance that comes with it. So custom visuals do have some considerations with performance, just since they're an isolated container that renders that. But how does this work with lots of trellising, large data sets as far as the performance?
So I think custom visuals by design, they are sandboxed, so they are always going to be slower than the native visual.
I think it's the gap's closed. It's about 80. The perfect custom visual, I think, can hit about 85% of the performance of a native one, because they released a patch a few years ago that sped it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here is the thing. Where Inforiver Charts is going to help you with the performance is you are ending up using only one single Inforiver chart.
Correct.
And you can reduce the amount of text boxes you use, amount of KPI cards you use. So the number of components you use in a dashboard should actually exponentially go down. And even if you use multiple instances of the Inforiver charts, it just has to load one because it is the same library. So it is you gain performance in other areas. You don't have to do complex DAX measures. So there are a lot of areas where we actually improve performance, and customers actually use this to reduce the number of components. That's where we add performance. But if you just put apples to apples, simple bar chart, you are going. The native visual is always going to be.
Well, and arguably, like, I mean, if you just need a basic bar chart with nothing else, you just use a native visual. You go to custom visuals when you need features that are when there's a gap of features or implementation. I mean, a great example, just from a very basic perspective, is like the OK Viz card, multi-row card, or anything that does multi-row cards. Like 8 cards shown in one object is going to be significantly faster than 8 single value card native visuals. So it's the container, as you mentioned. Yes, the container has to run requires a little bit more time, like maybe a half a second or something to load. But if it's showing you 15 or 20 visuals that otherwise would require 15 or 20 individual visualizations, then you're immediately making up for that lost time by using 2 or 3 objects on the entire page versus 15 individual objects.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is the measure-driven data label. It's a long time customer asks, and we have even Jeff here asking for it for a long time. It's available from our Inforiver Charts version 1. We just made some more enhancements so you can actually customize the colors of the stuff out of the box. You get the thing. It's literally one click basically. Stack line charts. The number formatting, automatic number formatting, the serious colors in the titles, the scale band, which is the IBCS, the dynamic access breaks, all built in. So this is all of the common pain points our customers try to do. It's all built into the Inforiver done. Now, this is just to give you an idea about how many different like a small multiple, various charts, you have the panels changed. So complete customization compared to last year. What we do, you can actually go to each panel and change the chart type, change the axis for that particular panel. The level of customization we are bringing into the small multiple is unbelievable. And now, if you compare to say Tableau or anybody, you can actually do them, but I would almost say we are anywhere from 3 to 10 times faster than Tableau to achieve the same type of visualization. Most times, especially on a small multiple, and that we are like 10 times faster. I want to do this. You take a Power BI data set. That's how fast. So this is that much advanced in terms of doing that. Now I want to touch on pricing because this is more of our gift to the industry. We have priced our charts very, very aggressively. A big change from before is you can buy for only one user, and it is only $2 for all the features that we talked about per user. Or now you can actually buy for the developer with unlimited users. So it's $70 a developer, unlimited users. You don't have to buy for any viewers actually. And Tableau charges $70 for developer, but then you have to buy for the explorers, the viewers, and all that. So this is an incredible value. This pricing plan we just recently bought, and you can buy it directly from Microsoft, something that I will touch on. Now, some companies want to buy for 100 users, it's $1.50. For 1,000 users, it's just $1 a month. So if you really think about it, $1,000 a month, even a big company, for the amount of charts they get, it's a single visual. So you can actually do a lot. And then we also have an unlimited. So it's a transparent pricing. Customers can go to the Microsoft. And I want to talk about it. It is something that came out. Microsoft actually came out, and this is something for the all the audience, because this is some question a lot of them ask, and I wanted to actually show. So if you come to our Inforiver Charts website, and then they come to the charts page, and let's say you want to buy now, you can actually one of the things that we actually have, you can actually buy direct from Microsoft. You click on it, it takes you to the app source. And Microsoft released this feature in, I think it may be a good idea to actually, it's in the July Power BI blog, they launched it, where how it comes with the licensing transactability. So you look at the July 2022 and introducing a new way to do this. And
it makes it a lot easier just having to use the portal. You don't have to sit there and spin up a separate account anywhere.
Yeah, so if you see, there were a few partners that worked with, OKViz also participated in Inforiver Charts. So you can actually buy from Microsoft. All the FAQ is all here. In fact, it may be a good one to throw it out there for the audience read. I'm just trying to figure out how to chat and share this with you.
I can look it up.
Yeah, I just shared it very quickly. So this is something that you want to keep in mind. Now, I'm here. You see all the plans, $70 for the developers, or you buy for, I'm a small company, I want to buy for only 3 users, 5 users. You can do that as well. I wanted to show you. So you come here to do the buy now button. As long as you have a credit card, you can actually do it. Let's say I want to come here. I come to the next. I want to buy a monthly. I want to buy for 5 users in my company and do the next. So you're transacting with like an iPhone. You have an iPhone app. You are transacting and you are checking out. Now, some customers say, hey, I can't use a credit card. If you already have an existing enterprise relationship with Microsoft, you see, you can actually use the invoice and PO method. You just have to set up a billing profile. But that can only be done by your Power BI admin or the billing admin for Microsoft within your company. Not everybody, but anybody with the credit card can buy, basically. Now, if you want to use the invoice and PO, you have to be a global administrator for your company with Microsoft or the Power BI global admin. You can actually do, and you place the order. Now, after you do that, you come to admin.microsoft.com. Now, even though the link says admin, you don't have to be an admin. You can be some small person, team in the company. Whoever is buying automatically gets the right to do that license assignment. You go to admin.microsoft.com, you come to billing, you come to licenses, and the products that you have purchased automatically show up, basically. This is just my tenant. I'm just showing you. So I come down here and just bear with me. I just want to show you. You get an Office 365 licensing assignment. You come here, you select the product. I bought 15 licenses, 14 licenses. I come and assign licenses, basically. And then you can use the AD group and you can do all of that. So Microsoft has done quite a bit of investment into making the transactability of custom visuals easy, license management easy. A lot of that they have actually done. And one of the things I wanted to talk to a lot of you is, if I actually come to Power BI and I actually come here and I show to admin portal, and you have the tenant settings where you can actually have some of the custom visual tenant settings here, right? So if I come down here, do you want to allow custom visuals? Do you want to allow, and now Inforiver Charts is certified. Do you want to use only the certified visual? A lot of that is there. But what I wanted to touch on is the organizational visual. So if you go buy from the app source, you can actually add from the app source, and you can actually pin it to your, basically your visualization pane, basically, which means you don't have to, every user does not have to do. Okay. So I want to basically save some time and just show you, just to walk through, maybe there is not a whole lot of things to actually, I walk through quite a bit, but I will actually show you, because the chart is so easy to demonstrate relatively. So it's not like matrix. So I have the Inforiver visual. Now you can actually go to the app source, because this is something, it's available in the app source. I encourage you to try. Now, one thing is, it is free in the desktop. You can actually see this is Power BI certified. You can actually try it, or you can come to the inforiver.com. If you don't have the credit card, because the app source, if you want to publish to share it with others, it expects, it gives you a 1 month free. But if you come to our website and do the trial, you get the latest version, and also you can try without the credit card. That is the difference between getting it from the app source and getting it from here. You can actually try it, and then you get the here. Now, you see that this is the Inforiver Charts. I wanted to start here in a small canvas, because there is a perception that Inforiver Charts cannot be used in a small canvas, and I wanted to basically touch on that. So one of the things we have actually done is, for small canvas, we don't use the regular full toolbar. That's what created the impression, oh, I have to use the Inforiver visuals only in small canvas. So we wanted to actually address that. You can actually do. Now, if you really look at it, I'm in the editor view. Now, if I go to this in the publisher view, I'm just going to show you. the user experience of how it looks like as a viewer, it would look like a normal chart. This is just a normal chart. So the floating toolbar icon is gone by default. So it looks like a normal chart. The beauty of the Inforiver Charts is it puts the max, the mins, the average line, the readability of it is extremely well done. Where it starts to shine is the moment you add multiple measures. It starts to shine. Now I have added 2 measures, and our tooltip automatically give you the variances. Okay, so now if this is a big value for a lot of customers, because the cluster bar you can't really do. I cannot do. Now
comparison with the 2 of them is really nice as well, because it's automatically, because normally the filter propagation between those would require a special measure that would be able to look at that whatever you're hovering over, but also have to ignore that filter, look at the it would be complicated to write the measure, to do that, and it wouldn't be done in a couple minutes. So it's nice that that automatically is included, where you know that these are comparative. Like that's the reason you're putting them onto the chart, so they automatically get those included.
Yeah. Now the beauty of this is it makes even comparing multiple measures, 3 measures, easier, because it would then do a 3-way variance automatically for you. But this is not where you really see the power of this is. You see the manage measures. You see this one on the toolbar. You click the manage measures. This is where we have the wizard. We used to do the ACPY. We went away with it. Now, if you want IBCS standards, you can enforce it. You can go back to the old way of doing it, or you can just use the regular comparison and say, this is my comparison measure 1. This is my comparison measure 2. You can actually do this as well. I can assign it like this, and you can go back to the view. And the beautiful thing is it tells you with an arrow how the third measure actually does it, how we are doing to actuals, to budgets, to forecast. Now, this one, I want to show the power of the small multiples. If I put the small multiples, it's extremely readable. Okay, so you can actually, it's fully responsive. I can use this like in any shape or form. I can actually, it's fully responsive. So this is the whole beauty of our charting engine is it's fully responsive. It is doing all of that. Now, if you want to use it in the full canvas, this is where the whole toolbar gets exposed. So if you can see, it's very easy to change all the chart types. I want to change this to a waterfall chart. You can actually do this. And now I don't want empty panels. I come to the trellis. I can come and say, I want scaled rows. I don't want responsive grid. I want 3 columns. Then it would automatically do. So you can see how easy everything is. In single click, I can actually do this one by one. Now, I want a KPI header on the top. I can actually do that. I can. I wanted to show you all the chart types we have. You now have. You can see all the chart types that I was talking about. Yeah, we have them, and they are all a single click user experience. Now I can come here and I can turn this into the integrated variance. This is what I was talking about, how we can actually change the chart type, individual panel. I want a waterfall chart just for this. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I just do it, how you can actually do this at an individual panel level. You have the option to actually customize, add the variance pins, change the color. All of them are there, or reset it. All of them are there. But the most important things I wanted to talk about are, let's say I wanted to do, I have my multiple series, or I want to do the annotations, I wanted to do the deviations, I wanted to step back. Now, if I am an IBCS customer, it's very, very easy to change that to an IBCS theme. That's the black bar that everybody loves, especially the IBCS fans. It's very easy. So this is what I was talking about, the themes. I want Power BI theme, it's one click. I want to get to a corporate theme. We give you the customization of the corporate themes, where you can actually individually define all of the themes. You also have the export import. If you can this is one thing where you have the JSON, you want to set something up, you want to export it to the other things. All that capability is there with our visual now. One thing I wanted to quickly show you is the integrated KPI card. One click, you go to the integrated KPI card. That's it. So imagine you getting a multi-row measure comparison charts in a single click. Now I want to add let's say I want to add a sparkline chart, like it's one click, I added a sparkline chart. Now I want to change the position. This is what I was talking about, left, right. So you have all of the ability to do this very quickly.
Honestly, I really like the cards option. Honestly, like that's the one that and it's still being, you know, like getting features to a degree that are still being added. So there's some things that I'm getting that are new, but I think the ability to customize you know, multi cards with visualizations built in, like KPI cards, essentially is very nice. And then there's the weight, the corner radius, the border, all that. So you can basically get it to fit whatever design or aesthetic you need to, whatever your personal preferences on shadows or anything else. So they can look very integrated and cohesive with any other reports that you have onto the page. And you basically just have this as like cards that could be at the top, you know, and in your title section, supported by whatever other customer native visuals you might be using.
Yeah, no, thank you. So let me actually show you a couple of more other features, but I always believe the proof is in the pudding, and you should actually go ahead and actually try it yourself, and everything should be very easy and intuitive. And let me actually show you one important feature. I want to add a quarter, and I want to add my actual, and I want to show you the concept of basically doing, let's say I have my region here in the small multiple. So you see how it did the small multiple automatically, but I wanted to show you the feature where we can do the stacking that I was talking about, how it in one click it did the stacking, and how it did the breakdown waterfall with the deviation. This is what I was talking about. So this is the multiple deviation stacking. You can actually do it very, very intuitively in a single click. You can actually do it. The piece that I wanted to show, the next piece I wanted to actually show is actually take something like in the month and put it here. And, you know, it may be the good time to actually show you the manage measures, and I'm going to actually put it, and I'm going to do the IBCS variances. Now you see how we allow you to remove the variance pins if you don't like it. But I wanted to show you, yeah, I wanted to show you, this may be new for you, Reed, as well, is we actually, let's remove this, and I actually take the actual and I actually take the plan. So this now has multiple years. So this actually gives you the new things that we were talking about. So this is a new feature, Reed. I think you may not be familiar with this. And let me actually, so these are some of the default settings that we are trying to perfect it. Now, I want to really analyze why 2022. So this is the contextual drill down that I was talking about. I want to drill down to 2022. I have the quarters now. You see how
I just, as a subtle thing, I like that the tooltips, when you hover over those, show what you're going to drill into. So yeah, see, expand Q3. So it says the name of the categorical or the category in that field that you're going into, which is nice.
So you can actually do the drill down like this, and then you go into the month and you have a good idea of what it is. Now the breadcrumb allows you to go back all quarters, right? So we didn't have this all quarters feature before. Now it turns it into a full-blown small multiple, and we actually give this breadcrumb where you can actually turn this into a comparative small multiple and all that. So there is a new feature that we did is, you see this drill down. What if you wanted to do all of them at once? So we added this new feature basically. So
okay, so it works essentially like the expand would. It expands out, shows it concatenates each level down rather than showing one level at a time. Okay, that's good. It's good, and I do like that people familiar with Power BI will already recognize the symbol, since it's it parallels what the native hierarchy controls would be.
Yeah, so that's why so we have worked with a lot of customers, got the feedback, and they felt they wanted this flexibility. They wanted to do the contextual drill down, the axis break that I was talking about. So quite a bit of features that we have actually done. And I want to go next. So just bear with me. I just want to be cognizant of the time as well. And the series feature. So let's say I have my retail orders, I have my sales, my quantity, my profit, and let's say I have my segment added. So you see, the product is smart enough to know that I have measures and I have segment. It automatically does a what do you call as a combination chart or a clustered chart. It does it, and in the series we allow you to change the chart type now. So this is a big change where you can actually say, and I want it a y-axis, or this should be so this is a like I want it as a column, or I want it as a line. So this level of customization we are now giving to the customers. Okay. Then let's say we want to break this down by region. So this is one of the products in the market that can do dual axis small multiple charts, basically.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And the well, and maybe you know this, Knox, there's certain features that is there any options versus the standard versus more of like a spline line, or for some of those as you layer on?
So you see this line types, all the line types are there. Cool. All the line types are there, and you can actually do them. And then so one of the things that I talked about is I want to break the sales into individual measures. You see the split group into measures.
Yep.
So now it allows you to, actually I should have done the group by measure actually. And it then breaks them into individual one. Maybe I didn't do it. Maybe I shouldn't have done it like this. Maybe let's say I remove the region. So you see, I now have my sum of profit, sum of quantity, each of them there. And maybe then I come here and say, I just want a simple bar chart for the sales, but then I want a kind of a profit. I would like a kind of peak and valley chart, or I can say this. So individually, you can actually go and actually customize. Hey, maybe the profit, I will have a waterfall chart. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you are able to, by measure, you are able to split it, and you are able to do this. This level of flexibility we are actually able to do. Now, what I strongly would encourage everybody is to actually go and try our product. I think that's the best for the product, and just go try it, and you will absolutely, like, for example, you click on the x-axis, it would open up the x-axis. So these are some of the things that we have actually done. You see this y-axis, so you can all of them are on click. Like I want to change it from average to, so you can say I don't want average, I want median. Yep. So everything is contextual. You click it. Now I don't want what do you call, I want to rotate this. Boom. Bar chart to a column chart. So it's all pretty intuitive how it is designed. Every data label, you can see, if you hover over, you get the pencil to change the data label. But do you want a limited, or you want it all? So all of the common requests that customers ask is already built in and automated. So data label.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is I think the continued things that I see that are even coming out of this, even as like I said, I've been really enjoying being able to be a part of the program and watch this grow, and also just provide some candid feedback with myself. I know with Inforiver, like Matt Allington and MK Feldman, a few other MVPs have helped out with testing and feedback on this. But it's great to see the evolution of this, and certainly there is the amount of features that are available for some of these custom visuals and the like. There's been a renaissance of good quality custom visuals in the last few years, as I think the platform is finally matured. It only took 6 years, 5 to 6 years of Power BI to exist before like much higher quality enterprise custom visuals started to come out. Certainly bridging that gap for customers that weren't ready to switch to Power BI, or felt it was decent as a visualization tool, but there is still a lot of gaps. So I think this has been great to see a lot of this stuff, both from a business perspective of why it's needed, but also just how easy it is to add some of this. My favorite, honestly, though, was the cards, like the ability to customize and Trellis, like just using this as kind of like a little KPI card designer. I think that's probably where I'm going to use it the most, because the multi-value and varied analysis cards, there's some custom visuals available out there that do a decent job, but there's maybe 20 customizations that you can do, and I'm sure there's hundreds of ways to configure these. Like each one of these, we don't need to get into today. Like
Mm.
I've played around and demoed this. Like you can basically build it out entirely, each one, and design it completely bespoke. Like you can choose upper left, put a text box, put a chart here. So it's almost like building a slide. Like you can really put whatever you want, wherever you want on these, and then trellis them by any category. So I'm sure we'll eventually see a lot of people templating these and creating a lot of design ideas for how to implement them. So very cool.
Absolutely. One last thing before I wrap it up is the toolbar. You can actually unpin it, so then you get the floating toolbar. So you don't have to work. If you don't want it visible, you can actually do it, or you have the small arrow to do it. One of the things we launched is called a reading view preview. In the desktop, without publishing, you can actually click, how is it going to look when I actually publish it? So these are some of the things that we thought through and we brought it in. So it just looks like a normal dashboard.
Exactly. You can hide the title and everything entirely to make it just integrated into the page. So like whether or not people actually need to customize it themselves. There's one follow-up, I think, and then we'll use that to wrap up. So Elvis Martin just wanted to know, will this support custom report page tooltips? You know, where you can get a little mini chart. That's basically just, it's built into the SDK. So this does support it. So either native tooltips, or if you want to replace that with the whatever report page you build out on another one. Interestingly enough, you could kind of actually layer charts. You could have a report page tooltip using Inforiver Charts, building out one set of cards that's hovering over this that provides another one. So you could actually have two versions of these working with each other on a report page and this one if you really wanted to. But yes, it is supported.
So one important thing is all of the Power BI native features are supported. You don't lose any features just because you're using. So all the drill throughs, the cross filters, the bookmarks, the PowerPoint integration, you can do this because people take the Power BI chart, take it to PowerPoint, put text boxes, and do a lot of things. You don't have to do that. So that's the very important value is you actually build a final with the variants, commentary, everything, and you can embed this into PowerPoint. Everything should work as is. So you see the annotation, you can actually do the title. So the title is, you see, rich text editing. You can actually do, and you can add other measures, and you can actually add an explanation.
Exactly.
You have the presets. We are coming out with the title presets and things like that. So there is
it's a ridiculous editor. Like it's a complete open sandbox of things to build. You have templates and other stuff. But yeah, like the well is very deep on how much that can be customized. And I'm sure you'll see more use cases as customers start to use this.
Yeah, so that's why I said, right, I don't want that standard title. I want something like this. In single click, I got it.
Yep,
right?
Exactly. No, this has all been fantastic. I appreciate you showing this around, Gopal. Like I mentioned in the chat, anybody watching this, links and relevant information, both to Inforiver, the parent company Lumel, and also just being able to install it from App Source, is all available in the video description down below. So go ahead and check that out and install it totally free in desktop to play around with. But Gopal, thank you for coming on today for this. Let me go back to the screen here. This has been really good to have you on, and as always, it's been a pleasure. So I'm sure at some point when you make your next big visualization for Power BI, we'll have you on to demo that as well.
Sure, absolutely. There are at least one new one coming out in April. We still haven't, you haven't even, I don't think so. You have seen it. It's one big one coming.
Yep.
And so maybe in summer we can actually do that. And thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. You do a lot for the community and putting out a lot of these content. And again, feel free to reach out to me. And if you think, try the product, give us feedback. We want to make sure it satisfies your need. And the bar is very high. We want to make sure you can do this in a no code, a few clicks, you get what you want.
Exactly. Perfect. And enjoy the rest of your day then. And everyone, I will see you on Thursday when I have Win Hopkins on my stream. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to help support this channel, take a look at our channel memberships or our merchandise store for cool swag. And last but not least, please consider sharing this video on your social media platform of choice to help our channel grow. So, until next time.